Ah, the age-old debate, which reigns supreme, the practical know-how of the streetwise, those who navigate the bustling markets and busy streets with an innate understanding of the world around them, or the lofty musings of the academic, those who spend years in hallowed halls of learning, pondering the mysteries of existence and the intricacies of human thought. It's a question that has plagued humankind since Socrates annoyed Athenians with his incessant questioning, challenging the very fabric of their beliefs. We tend to value certain types of knowledge over others, often without realizing it. The knowledge gained from books and formal education is frequently placed on a pedestal, while the wisdom acquired through life experiences and practical engagement is sometimes overlooked. Is this hierarchy of knowledge justified? Should we re-evaluate what we consider valuable? Does a PhD in philosophy truly make one wiser than a skilled craftsperson who has honed their craft over decades? Can the theoretical insights of an academic surpass the practical wisdom of someone who has lived through the trials and tribulations of everyday life? The answers, my dear reader, are far from simple. They require us to look beyond the surface and delve deeper into the essence of what it means to be wise. Our journey begins in ancient Greece with a philosopher who certainly knew a thing or two about thinking. The ancient Greeks were pioneers in the exploration of knowledge and wisdom. Aristotle, that titan of thought, distinguished between two types of wisdom, practical and theoretical. Practical wisdom, or phronesis, is the ability to make sound decisions in everyday life, while theoretical wisdom, or sophia, is the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake. One, grounded in the real world, dealing with the tangible and the immediate, the other, soaring in the realms of abstract thought, contemplating the infinite and the eternal. Both valuable, both necessary, yet often pitted against each other in a battle for societal recognition. In truth, a balanced society needs both types of wisdom to thrive and progress. Aristotle, bless his inquisitive soul, argued that practical wisdom, or phronesis, is the ability to make sound judgments in everyday life. This type of wisdom is not just theoretical, but deeply rooted in the practicalities of daily living. It's the baker, knowing just the right amount of yeast to add to the dough, ensuring that the bread rises perfectly every time. This knowledge comes from years of experience and a deep understanding of the ingredients. It's the carpenter crafting a sturdy chair, selecting the right wood and using the proper tools to create something both functional and beautiful. This skill is honed over countless hours in the workshop. It's the politician, ideally, making decisions for the common good, balancing various interests and navigating the complexities of governance. This requires not just knowledge, but also empathy and foresight. Practical wisdom is about navigating the complexities of the human experience with a deft hand and a keen eye. It's about making choices that benefit not just oneself, but the community as a whole. Theoretical wisdom, or sophia on the other hand, is all about understanding the fundamental principles that govern the universe. This type of wisdom seeks to uncover the truths that lie beneath the surface of our everyday experiences. It's the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake, driven by a deep curiosity and a desire to understand the world at its most fundamental level. This quest for understanding is often a solitary journey, filled with moments of profound insight. It's the joy of unraveling the mysteries of existence, whether it's gazing at the stars and pondering the vastness of the universe, or delving into the intricacies of human thought and behavior. Think mathematicians grappling with abstract theorems, trying to solve problems that have puzzled minds for centuries. Their work often seems esoteric, but can lead to groundbreaking discoveries. Or physicists pondering the nature of time, exploring the very fabric of reality itself. Their experiments and theories push the boundaries of what we know and challenge our understanding of the universe. And of course, philosophers, well, being philosophers, they engage in deep, often abstract discussions, questioning the very nature of existence, knowledge and ethics. Now, one might assume that Aristotle, being a philosopher himself, would favor theoretical wisdom. After all, he spent much of his life in contemplation and study. And while he certainly held it in high regard, he recognized the crucial role of practical wisdom in a well-functioning society. He understood that without practical wisdom, theoretical knowledge could become disconnected from the realities of everyday life. After all, what good is understanding the cosmos if you can't build a fire to stay warm? Practical wisdom grounds us, ensuring that our lofty ideas are anchored in the real world, where they can truly make a difference. Fast forward a few centuries, or 2 millennia, give or take, and we encounter the existentialists, a gloomy but insightful bunch. They, too, grappled with the question of meaning and purpose in a seemingly absurd world. Existentialism, with its emphasis on individual freedom and responsibility, throws another log on the fire of our debate. If we are truly free to define our own meaning, as Sartre and Camus suggested, then who's to say one form of knowledge is inherently superior to another? The existentialist baker might find profound meaning in crafting the perfect sourdough, while the existentialist astrophysicist might find solace in unraveling the secrets of the cosmos. Each creates their own meaning, their own purpose in their chosen domain. But hold on a moment, interjects Michel Foucault, the ever-provocative French philosopher. Power, he argues, is inextricably linked to knowledge. Those who control knowledge control the narrative, shaping our understanding of the world and our place within it. Suddenly, our seemingly innocent debate about the value of different types of knowledge takes on a more sinister tone. Foucault would argue that academic elitism, with its emphasis on certain types of knowledge and its exclusionary practices, serves to maintain existing power structures. Those with advanced degrees and specialized knowledge often occupy positions of authority, shaping policies, influencing public opinion, and perpetuating a system that privileges their particular brand of intelligence. So, where does this leave us? In our quest for knowledge and understanding, we often find ourselves at a crossroads. Is academic elitism an unavoidable consequence of our pursuit of knowledge? Does the very structure of our educational systems inherently create barriers? Or is it a social construct that we can dismantle and rebuild in a more equitable way? Can we envision a world where knowledge is shared freely and valued equally, regardless of its source? Like most things worth pondering, the answer is far from simple. It requires us to look deeply into our values and the systems we've built. We need experts, that much is clear. Their specialized knowledge drives innovation and progress. We rely on doctors to heal us, to diagnose and treat illnesses that we cannot understand on our own, engineers to build our bridges, both literal and metaphorical, connecting communities and fostering development, and economists, well, some of them at least, to guide our financial systems, ensuring stability and growth. These professions require years of specialized training, dedication, and a deep understanding of their fields. And we benefit immensely from their expertise, their ability to solve complex problems and innovate, yet we must also be wary of creating a system where certain types of knowledge are devalued or dismissed. The hierarchy of knowledge can be detrimental. The wisdom of the farmer, who understands the land and seasons, the skill of the artisan, who creates beauty and functionality with their hands, the experience of the community leader, who knows the needs and strengths of their people. These are all valuable forms of knowledge that deserve our respect and attention. We must strive to create a society where all forms of knowledge are celebrated and utilized for the greater good. Of course, we must acknowledge the inherent absurdity of intellectual pursuits. I mean, here we are, pondering the meaning of life when we haven't even figured out how to make self-cleaning ovens a standard feature in every modern home. Clearly, we academics have our priorities in perfect order, but I digress. Now back to the matter at hand. Perhaps the key lies in bridging the gap between the theoretical and the practical, between the ivory tower and the real world. We need to create spaces where different types of knowledge can interact and inform one another, where the boundaries between disciplines become more fluid. Imagine, if you will, a world where philosophers collaborate with policymakers, where engineers work alongside artists, where scientists engage with community leaders. It might sound utopian, but imagine the possibilities. We must also recognize the value of lived experience as a form of knowledge. The single mother working 2 jobs has a unique understanding of economic hardship. The immigrant who fled a war-torn country can speak to the human cost of conflict. These are not perspectives typically found in academic textbooks, yet they are essential for creating a just and equitable society. By valuing diverse forms of knowledge and creating spaces for dialogue and collaboration, we can begin to dismantle the hierarchies that perpetuate academic elitism. Finally, a word of caution to my fellow academics. A little humility goes a long way. We must remember that knowledge is not a possession to be hoarded, but a shared journey of discovery. Let us approach our intellectual pursuits with curiosity, open-mindedness, and a healthy dose of self-awareness. After all, as Socrates famously said, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. So, there you have it. A whirlwind tour of academic elitism, philosophical musings, and the inherent absurdity of it all. We've explored the tensions between different forms of knowledge, the role of power in shaping our understanding of the world, and the importance of valuing diverse perspectives. The relationship between knowledge and power is complex, nuanced, and constantly evolving. By engaging in thoughtful dialogue, challenging existing hierarchies, and approaching knowledge as a shared journey, we can create a more inclusive and equitable society where all forms of wisdom are valued and respected. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a pressing philosophical matter to attend to, namely figuring out why the cookie jar is always empty.